What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to take a look at the Deathseed team in action with Nemesis. We still don't have Archangel, but we are going to take a look and see if the team is already viable without Archangel. And I'm going to show you exactly the T4's ISO 8 I'm using just really quick, just to have an impression, because we are going to be talking about more we are going to talk about that more in depth in the future in another video. We'll go through all the T4s and so on, why I prefer specific ISO 8s on certain characters. But in this specific video we are going to take a look at them in action on Doom 3 on difficulty 4. So this is massive without Archangel, and I'm very happy with the results, because it shows that this team has viability even without its legendary. Before that, I want to say a big thanks to everyone that showed up on my last live stream, which was the patch day. We had almost 200 people live at one point in time, and I have to say that's amazing. I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate when you guys show up on the live streams and we have this conversation about Marvel Strike Force for the most part, and we have discussions about the characters and this hobby that we have in common. So I really appreciate the support and everyone that showed up on that live stream. Okay, so with that said, as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about Deathseed really quick, just to see where the stats of my characters are. So once again, we are going to take a look at the gameplay of the Deathseed on Doom 3 on difficulty 4. And the team we are rolling is going to be Psylocke, Magneto. We are going to use Dark Beast and Nemesis. These characters are at level 85, and the recommendations for Doom 3 at difficulty 4 is level 88 or higher. So this is going to be under-geared in terms of the levels. Now all of them have gear tier 16 except Nemesis. I'm saving my gear for Archangel, and the new characters, they are both at 4 yellow stars. Okay, so on top of that, just really quick in terms of the T4s, we have most of the T4s, even not all of them are recommended, but like I said, if we have more levels, you don't require as much T4s. Dark Beast is probably the most important character on this team, is very, very important, and Nemesis is pretty decent. We are going to talk about him in another video where I'm gonna show you the unlock, the red stars that I opened for this guy, and we'll talk about more in depth about him. Okay, so this is the team I'm using. Once again, this team is under leveled. For difficulty 4, you really want your characters at least level 88, if not above that. The most recommended is level 90, because the difference in armor, the difference in HP is huge, and also in damage, but at least the armor and the HP is the most important factor. Now, in terms of the gameplay that we are going to take a look at, in one node I used Rogue, the other one I used Omega Red. I think both options are available. The most important thing about this team is knowing exactly which target to clone. That is another topic that we can talk about in a different video, but I'm going to show you what my first impressions were and what I used in order to one-shot both the first node and the second node, and unfortunately I didn't have opportunity to do the boss node because I was very short on time when the nodes become available and when my raid was going to end, because I'm on the left side of the lane, so the mutant nodes are the last ones for me. Okay, so with all that said, let's take a look at this team in action and get ready to get your mind blown, because wow, this team is crazy. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. We have the team ready to go, and this was footage from my live stream. We have Rogue, we have Psylocke, Magneto, Dark Beast, and Nemesis. I'm not exactly sure of the position of the characters yet. What's definitely important is to make sure that Nemesis and Archangel, they never have disrupt. This is something that we'll talk about in another video. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see this team in action. And the one thing that I can mention right now is the skirmisher on Magneto. A few people ask, oh, isn't it better to have a raider or a striker for more healing? I didn't felt like it was necessary, and for me it was way more important to have skirmisher on Magneto to make sure any character like Drax or like Red Guardian that I would be able to remove the taunts turn 1. This team has a few methods of removing positive effects from the enemies, but I think having multiple skirmishers is going to be the best option in order for you to remove those positive effects that you definitely want to remove in this specific case. Okay, so let's take a look at this team in action. And of course, without Archangel, you have to be careful with the cooldowns because otherwise you are not going to have enough energy. Okay, so also with the skirmisher isolate, Magneto has more focus, so it's more likely for you to apply the blinds and also the other negative effects. Okay, so in terms of options with Rogue, I think it was important to stop Mr. Sinister. This means he's not going to be able to clone and he's not going to be able to heal his allies. And in terms of the clone that I think you want to do here is Mystique, because she's going to increase the buffs that Magneto has. So Mystique, she's part of the Brotherhood, so it made sense to me to clone Mystique. Other characters that you might clone might be Moondragon for the turn rewind that she does with her special, and also the ultimate that applies defense down on the enemies, because this team, the Deathseed, unfortunately they don't have a good source of defense down. It's only Psylocke basic, and she's not the fastest character ever. So you have two options there. You have Moondragon and you have Mystique. I decided to clone Mystique. I think that was a decent option. Maybe not the best, but still it was pretty decent. Okay, so let's see. With Psylocke, you have to be very careful how you use her abilities, because with Archangel you are not going to have a lot of energy, so you have to be very careful when you use your special, when you use your ultimate. And the basic, of course, you can do it all the time, and once again you are going to apply those defense downs on the enemies, so you want to make sure that you apply those defense downs to characters that do a lot of damage, like Negasonic. So if you can remove Negasonic as fast as possible by applying the defense down with Psylocke, that's going to be extremely convenient. Okay, so I decided to clone Mystique. Another reason to clone Mystique is that if you have all the T4s on Dark Beast, that means that Mystique will spawn with Evade. And that's great, because like this, it's more likely for her to survive because she spawns with a taunt. So this is a 5000 IQ move, just to make sure that the character that you summon, that you clone, survives. Okay, so with Mystique Ultimate, I decided to attack Emma Frost, and you saw that Emma Frost got completely destroyed because Mystique increases the damage of the enemies, and of course they are NPCs, so they're going to do massive amount of damage. And then at this point I decided to apply ability block to Madeline Pryor, because she's extremely dangerous. This situation that I have right here, to have multiple strifes on the field, is extremely dangerous, and you definitely don't want that. And if you have multiple Madeline Pryors on the field, or even if you have just one, you want to change the target that is your priority target, so you can apply offense down to all enemies. This will reduce the damage of the enemies by 50%, and you definitely want to do that. So you can see there, both strifes have offense down. The Red Guardian has offense down as well, and now as I attack Negasonic to also apply offense down to her. Fortunately enough, I didn't got the assist, but I got the blind on her, so it covered up for not having the offense down. But once again, you really want to change your targets, so you apply offense down to as many characters as possible. Otherwise, Madeline Pryor is really going to destroy your ass, so be careful with that. Okay, so we have only 4 enemies left, so we are going to try to save our cooldowns and get ready for the next node. Yes, we are going to do the second node, and this is not going to be with any problems. You can see that the damage of the character, they are taking tons and tons of damage because they are not at level 90. This is the problem. It's going to be huge when you get them to level 90. And with Archangel, they are also going to get more armor. So this team is going to play very, very different when you get them level 90, when you get them more yellow stars, more red stars, and after, when you get Archangel, they are definitely going to destroy. But for the first try with characters at level 85, I have to say that this was very, very impressive. Okay, so now let's take a look at node number 2, where I use the Omega Red instead of Rogue. Okay, so here we are on node number 2 on Doom 3, difficulty 4, and we are going to use Omega Red. And I had to change his ISO weight from Striker to Skirmisher because at level 85 he was not being able to apply negative effects to the enemies. So I just decided, okay, I'm gonna change his ISO weight just for more consistency, and it worked out. Once again, if you get these characters to level 90, this is not gonna be a problem anymore, but when we have to gear up minions right now, it's inconvenient. Okay, so let's get started. Same team. No changes in terms of gear or anything except Omega Red with the Skirmisher ISO weight. I didn't try Rogue gear. I just thought that Omega Red was going to be more convenient because he applies ability block. Some people compare Nemesis with Omega Red like shut the fuck up. They are not similar at all. And it's how can you even compare the characters? One applies multiple ability blocks, the other one doesn't do anything like that. So let's not be crazy. Okay, so once again we start with a blind of Magneto. We got very unlucky there and we got stuck behind the taunt of Drax. This is we had 80% chance of assist. Unfortunately got unlucky. Either way it didn't matter because we are still going to be able to destroy the enemies. And I decided to apply blind ability block to Agatha Harkness. The ability block alone was enough. The blind would have been a little bit better elsewhere, but it's not super important. That blind is the blinds that Dark Beast applies on his turn, so it's pretty much irrelevant. Okay, now in terms of the character that you want to clone, it's going to be it's gonna be Deathpool. Deathpool is extremely important together with this team because look how many negative effects the enemies have. Tons and tons of negative effects, right? Yes. Okay, so we are going to clone Deathpool and we are going to push the next wave of enemies. After that, Deathpool is going to spread all those negative effects to everyone. Now, I have no idea how they got that immunity, to be honest. I have not done this node in a while. Oh, okay, now I remember. It was because of anti-venom. He applied immunity for everyone. So what you have to do, and this is why you have to save the special of Psylocke to moments where you need it. You want to use the special of Psylocke to remove all those immunities and so on. Once again, with Archangel, this is not going to be a problem because Archangel is going to give energy for everyone every time you destroy an enemy. Okay, so I pushed Agatha below the 25% health just to make sure that I trigger her passive before she loses the trauma. And once again, I'm just trying to push the next wave so I can spread all those negative effects from Deadpool or from Drax to the other enemies. Okay, so Dark Beast with a basic, he does so much damage with his bleeds. He's definitely one of the best characters to get good red stars on this team. And when you clone a Deadpool, it also activates her passive. So every enemy that you defeat, it's more attacks that you are doing to the enemies. So look at this, this is amazing. We spread all those negative effects, and this is why it's important to have Skirmisher as a weight with the Dark Beast, because he's also the character that we are cloning with, and the focus of Dark Beast is also going to be the focus of the clone. Okay, so look at those tons of negative effects on the enemies. It's just crazy. At this point, I was trying to apply blind and ability block to as many characters as possible, especially Ghost Rider, especially Cloak, because I don't want them to destroy me with their negative effects. Other thing that we need to be careful with is Wong. You kinda want to try to use the ultimate of Psylocke on Wong, so you can turn rewind him and stop him from doing his ultimate. Otherwise it's gonna be very hard to remove the taunt that he has. At least for now, because he has the defense up, he has a bunch of buffs, he also has the safeguard, and it's very hard to remove those positive effects from him. Okay, so we used the trauma there, the ultimate with Nemesis, and now we are going to use the special of Psylocke just to do as much damage as possible. At this point I was just trying to rush because we have just a few seconds left. Once again, we are using the team at level 85. This is recommended for level 88 or higher. Then we have, you have to be careful also with the ultimate of Nemesis. You want to make sure that you do the ultimate whenever the second wave drops, so all of them have trauma. You don't need the trauma on the first wave of enemies, but on the second wave it's very important because you have Kestrel, you have Wong, you have all those crazy characters that you definitely want to stop. Okay, so finally I used the ultimate from Magneto there. It was kind of unnecessary, but I was just trying to rush to complete the node. Once again, we have our characters under leveled, but still they are performing very well compared to any other teams that we had in the past, like Astonishing X-Men. Full Astonishing X-Men does a terrible job, and the other version with Rogue and Gambit might be too hard for a few people to pull it off and be able to one-shot this node. Okay guys, so that was the Deathseed team in action. Once again, under leveled, and still they completely crushed the mutant nodes on Doom 3 difficulty 4, even without Archangel. I find this result very impressive, and the amount of buffs that they get, the negative effects that they apply, if you use them properly, this team is going to be very strong. On top of that, if you know exactly which characters to clone, that's gonna be huge. You saw there that Mystique was a big difference. If you clone Moondragon, that's gonna also make a good difference to your team. And then we also have Deadpool. Cloning Deadpool was amazing, it was a game changer, and it definitely helped in our success on the second mutant node. Okay guys, so that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back in the future when we have this team maxed out and with Archangel, and then we are going to do the full run and the full guide on how to beat all the nodes, including the boss node, all one shot. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But that's gonna be all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.